Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's get started. My name is Victoria Bailey. Today I'm going to be talking to you about solving problems in a group setting. A lot of people typically have to go into group settings and solve problems. The best way to do this is the reflective thinking sequence. This has been proven to be one of the most effective techniques in which to solve in a group setting. So let's get started. First step you're going to want to do is define and analyze the problem. What does this mean? This means you need to ask yourself the kind of questions such as what caused the problem, why does the issue need to be solved, also what would happen if the issue were not solved. These are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself in this stage. It'd be good to analyze the problem as well, kind of dig deep. That way you can kind of get to the base of the issue and why it started. Your next step is going to be establish criteria for a solution. Now this step goes hand in hand whenever you are problem solving and coming up with a solution in your brainstorming section. This is when you have a set of standards in which your solutions can abide by. So whenever you're evaluating and doing sort of a process of elimination with your solutions, this is what you can kind of say, hey, this is the criteria that we've set ourselves. If it doesn't meet the criteria, then we rule that solution out. And this is when you consider, like I said, this is what you consider when you're evaluating conclusions. So your next step, this is the section where you are brainstorming, generating possible solutions to your issue. At this point, you want to encourage radical free thinking. What is that? That is when you have lots of different creative ideas coming out. This is not the point in time whenever you tell people that they're not good enough or that their ideas aren't good enough. At this point, this is not when you want to reject people's ideas. You want to keep the ideas flowing. You want to encourage people to voice their opinions and voice their ideas. If you don't, you could possibly lose an idea that may have come up in this situation had you stopped and focused on one idea versus letting the ideas flow and continuing with other people's ideas as well. And you don't want to be judgmental at this point. This is not when you start rejecting people's ideas. At this point, you just want to get as many ideas flowing as possible. And then this is your next step. This is when you decide on a solution. This is when you have your criteria. This is when you refer back to your established criteria, and you do that sort of process of elimination of, going through and deciding what solutions would be best for your issue that you're having as a group. Exactly. See, you want to use that criteria in order to have that sort of process of elimination. And then finally, you want to implement your solution. This is when you put the plan into action and you identify specific tasks that need to be accomplished. This is when you ask yourselves the questions, okay, what needs to be done? You want to get really, really specific at this point. What needs to be done? Who do we need to contact? How are we going to, financially, how are we going to support this solution? How are we going to put it into action? These are the kind of questions. You also want to anticipate any issues at this point. If any issues start to arise, that is when you kind of take a step back and realize, okay, maybe this solution doesn't meet all of our criteria. If this solution that you've kind of decided on has any issues or potential problems, then you need to go back to the drawing board and just because if you have any potential problems in the future, that's obviously not going to work for you. You don't want to foresee any issues in the future because that could possibly lead to a detrimental situation that would put you in another situation where you need to group solve as well. So you want to prevent any situations like that. And you also want to follow up in the future. If you do have a situation that your solution has been solved, everything seems to be going well, you want to follow up with that in the future. A good way to do that is, take surveys, get people's opinions, whether it's within your group or within a committee or within an office setting. You want to get people's ideas and see what worked best, see what didn't work. It's always a good idea to follow up, definitely, whenever you're solving a problem. Finally, it's to get, whenever it comes to being in a group, I always personally think that it's typically better if you have more people to go forward and decide on a solution together. You know, individually you may be okay, but together you can make something great. I want to thank you all for being here today, and that is it. Thank you.